Now, one of my favorite parts about living in Columbus, Ohio area is that I don't actually have to live in Columbus to be able to enjoy all of the things that Central Ohio actually has to offer. Ohio is a pretty unique place, as if you're moving from out of state or something like that, you can pretty much imagine that we are a very agricultural state, but at the same time, we do have a lot of things going on from all the growth and manufacturing and things. But what I absolutely love, again, is these small towns that are just outside city limits that you can live in and yet enjoy most of Central Ohio and only be roughly 30 minutes from the rest of Central Ohio. It's actually almost laughable that you can be just 30 minutes away from almost anywhere, no matter where you live. It absolutely makes no sense. But because of the way that we have low traffic and the in the geographical areas, if you want to get somewhere, you can pretty much be there in 30 minutes. So I live in one of these small towns, these bedroom communities that mine happens to be growing. Others don't necessarily they aren't necessarily growing. They may have some other things that are keeping them about the same size. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and you can actually live there and still be able to enjoy the rest of Columbus, Ohio. There are many beautiful little towns up in Delaware County, but Sunbury is one of those that just a few years ago seemed so far away. And really, in the past 10 years, the city has expanded and neighborhoods and other growth and infrastructure has been put up and has really just turned Sunbury into another one of those little suburbs of Columbus. Still disconnected from much of Columbus because you need just a little bit of a country drive to get away from some of that hustle and bustle just north of Westerville. But at the same time, Sunbury is going to be a place that's going to keep its identity, in my opinion, for years to come and be just a touch separate. And one of the biggest things, on reasons why I say that is you can't have too much expansion just south of there because there is a massive, massive natural reservoir that is absolutely beautiful. And just the west of it, excuse me, there's actually another reservoir called Alum Creek. And so you have some beautiful recreational areas if you really love the outdoors and being able to get out into nature. Pataskala is one of those little villages that if you drive through the old part, you can basically still see some of those horse and buggies that were going up and down the little streets because none of these roads were really built wide enough, I should say, in the little neighborhoods and in the little village. None of them were really built wide enough to be able to have two cars pass back and forth. It's more of alleyways, but that really adds to Pataskala's little charm as you have kind of these packed in old historic houses that are absolutely beautiful, some big, some small, and then you get out, and thankfully, you're actually able to see that there's been some beautiful infrastructure, some other neighborhoods, and some different things that have been out there. So you have kind of a mix of that charm of 100 years ago and versus the modern and maybe even some luxury homes. Maybe there's some horse properties and equestrian properties, and there's just such a mix with all within a very, very narrow spot. So Pataskala is one of those places that if you're looking for small town living but yet still being close to it, that's where you want to be. Granville is one of my favorite small towns in all of Central Ohio. And really because you have a mix of this beautiful historical, there's beautiful architecture, and it's been well preserved. And the people that have grown up there absolutely love it. And they talk about generations and generations of previous family members that have actually lived there. Now, it's pretty unique because you're going through these sites in Granville where there's not just a beautiful small town, but you're also seeing a random mansion. You've got people playing polo, and you also have an amazing university that is just literally up the hill. It's in this weird spot where where the topography actually changes, and you've got the whole city is actually built right next to this big hill. It's the most hilly place in Central Ohio, and it's absolutely gorgeous. and they have so many different little festivals. And it's really not just a bedroom community, but it's one of those places where people will drive just to visit, just to go there to grab a bite to eat and drive back home. My wife and I have done it ourselves. We'll definitely do it again. And if you want to live in one of those areas, especially because it is mostly an upscale community, it is a place that is something that is truly special. And also, another big thing on Granville, they don't want to grow. It will most likely look almost exactly the same 50 years from now because they want it to be preserved that way. Anyways, if you're looking for a place like that, Granville is at least a place you're going to want to take a drive through. Now, I couldn't feature little small towns of central Ohio without talking about Plain City. Now, Plain City is a very unique place, and if you talk to somebody about it, they may say, "Oh, yeah, Plain City, that's the place where there's that Amish restaurant or something like that," because there is a very large restaurant that's called Der Dutchman. But anyways, if you're thinking about moving to a small town and really want to have a mix of really anything and everything, Plain City is actually going to be going under a massive change. I, me personally, I'd say for the better. So as far as little parks and more restaurants and renovation of some of the old buildings, and there's going to be just a lot more of a accessible community from trails and things of that nature. So, Plain City is just one of those spots to where if you just want to, again, take a drive and kind of be able to have one of those places where you do want to visit, they really do they do have some sites in being able to turn Plain City into something like a Granville, just like I referenced earlier. And so, if you're looking for something like that, at least take a drive and see what's happening. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm definitely going to have some more featured areas that I'm going to be talking about, and whether it's areas of growth, so that way you know kind of what areas may look a little bit different in tomorrow than they do today, or maybe some other things that you may be interested as you're starting to think about moving to the area or wanting to learn a little bit more about Columbus, Ohio area real estate. So, all my information is actually in the description. So if you want to connect with me further and you're thinking about moving to the area, I don't care if you're thinking about it a year from now, 2 years from now, and you just want to know something. I just want to be here to be able to give you some information so that you know how to proceed and start that planning process and moving to the area, because it's a big deal and you can spend a lot of time, because Columbus, Ohio area is so unique. It is very different than other cities. It's much different than other cities, even in even in Ohio. I've lived in Ohio my entire life, and truly, Columbus is a unique place. So, if you want to learn more, please reach out to me. Feel free. We'll talk to you soon.